Imagine discovering your family is being hunted, not by an accident, but by a calculated plot to steal your wealth. In the 1920s, this was the reality for the Osage Nation. The Osage murders were one of America's darkest conspiracies, and it exposed the greed and betrayal of a system that failed an entire people. Follow me on this journey to uncover this haunting story and why some still try to hide it. In the early 20th century, the Osage Nation in Oklahoma became one of the wealthiest communities in the world. Why? Oil. Beneath their land lay vast oil reserves, making the Osage families millionaires overnight, but wealth brought them danger. Between 1921 and 1926, dozens up to hundreds of Osage people were murdered in a chilling conspiracy known as the Reign of Terror. This wasn't random violence either, it was a calculated scheme to steal the rights to their oil. At the heart of the Reign of Terror was William Hale, a local cattleman and self-proclaimed friend to the Osage people. Hale orchestrated a web of deceit using his nephew named Ernest Burkhart. He used Ernest to marry Molly Kyle, who was an Osage woman with valuable oil head rights. One by one, Molly's family members died. They were either poisoned, shot, or blown up in suspicious explosions. Her sister Anna was found dead with a bullet in her head, and another sister, Rita, perished in a house bombing. What was William Hale's plan? To ensure the head rights passed down to his nephew by eliminating all of Molly's family. But the Osage people weren't stupid, nor were they silent. They demanded justice, appealing to local authorities who often turned a blind eye. They were either complicit or bribed. The death toll rose. Estimates suggest up to 60 murders, though the true number may even be in the hundreds. The Osage were targeted not just by Hale, but by a larger system of systemic racism. One of these was guardianships, which is where white people were put in charge of Osage finances, and they often siphoned off their wealth, because at the time it was thought that Osage people weren't smart enough or good enough to control their own money. And by 1923, the Osage police reached Washington, and under the newly formed FBI, they stepped in under Edgar J. Hoover. Agents uncovered Hale's conspiracy, and Ernest Burkhart confessed, implicating Hale and others. In 1926, Hale was convicted and sentenced to life, though he was paroled after just 18 years. And Molly Burkhart survived, but her family was shattered. The trials exposed a chilling truth. The murders weren't just one man's greed, they revealed that a system was stacked against the Osage. Laws that infantilized them, courts that ignored them, and a society that saw their wealth as a threat. While Hale was punished, many others involved walked free, and the Osage never recovered their lives lost or their stolen wealth. The Osage murders aren't just history, they're a warning. Today, efforts to teach this story face resistance. In several states, laws like Oklahoma's Bill 1775, which was passed in 2021, restrict how race and history are taught in schools. These laws aim to avoid discomfort, but often silent stories like the Osage murders, which expose systemic racism, injustice, and critics argue they protect a sanitized version of history, keeping students from grappling with hard truths. You may be asking, well, why does this matter? Well, because if you ignore history, you're bound to repeat it, and the Osage murders show what happens when greed and power go unchecked, and when marginalized voices are dismissed. Teaching this history isn't about guilt, it's about understanding, so we build a future where no one's targeted for their wealth or identity. The Osage murders are a scar on America's conscience and a story of resilience in the face of betrayal. The Osage Nation endures their story, carried forward by descendants and advocates, but it's up to us to keep this history alive. You should seek out the truth and read books like Killers of the Flower Moon. Push back against laws that bury uncomfortable stories, and let us honor the Osage by ensuring their story is told loudly and unapologetically. If you're interested in this topic, I really recommend the movie Killers of the Flower Moon and the song Killers of the Flower Moon by Charlie Crockett. Please consider liking and subscribing, and enjoy the rest of y'all's day.